Welcome to Fandom Power.
Well, hey everybody, it's Wes here for Fandom Power, and something a little different. It's December, and with December comes Christmas. So I'm lucky enough to be sitting here right now tonight with my SAWcast family and my real family, and we just want to say welcome to the SAWcast family Christmas. I'm joined tonight with my recording partner Scott.
Hey.
And our other recording partner, editor, producer, graphic designer, man of 1,000 jobs, who just has endless capacity for more, Andy.
Hello.
And the lady who keeps my head on straight, my lovely wife, Kimberly.
Merry ho-ho, everyone.
Merry Christmas. Hey, is everybody ready for Christmas?
No.
No,
me neither.
Almost.
You've got your major shopping beats done?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I have a great partner in that Michelle really does take care of most of the shopping.
Yeah.
And which is good for me because I am not a shopper. Never really enjoyed it working retail, and then to find my own time to do my own shopping.
Yeah.
It's never really been big on my list. So, but you know, I got everything I needed to get for Michelle, which I think is always good.
Yeah.
I did not fall into the trap of that we weren't going to get anything this year, so I have got her something.
So, that's
Wait, does that actually happen at your house? Don't buy me anything this year. Let's just keep it small for the kids.
Do you not remember the 12 days of Michellemas?
Oh, yeah.
So, 2 years ago, I followed through on nothing.
Oh, boy.
But she didn't.
No, she got me a couple small things,
Yeah.
and she literally had, nothing.
Yeah.
And I felt terrible.
We're all married here. I mean, in the words of my man Akbar, it's a trap.
It's a trap. It's a trap. So her birthday is in March, so I counted back and I did 12 days of wonderfulness. And each day I did a little card on the first day of Michellemas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it culminated in a nice thing, and definitely spent way too much, and she realizes that, and she's like, that can never happen again. And I'm like, no kidding.
So even though you may be throwing those out there like as a throwaway, like let's just not get each other anything.
Always get them.
Yeah,
something.
always get something.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
Wait a minute, maybe it was an intentional trap. I mean, I would take 12 days of Westmas.
Right?
Do you know what I
You
mean?
normally do anyway.
Well,
you take
that's what
365 days
That's
of
what I'm
Westmas.
shopping for myself. Well, let's see. Everybody at this table is well aware of my spending habits. So,
Yes.
what's the newest piece of articulated plastic this week, Wes?
Which one? I usually have a few.
Oh, there's a pre-order list right now that is extensively long. In fact, it just got longer today. Mando Mondays. For those of you who are listening to our Mandalorian reviews, you're probably well aware of this, but Hasbro put up pre-orders for 6-inch Black Series Bo-Katan today, so
Shut up and take my money.
I'm very excited to get her.
Looks good.
She does look good. It's funny though, because these Mandalorian characters, Jango, now Boba's an exception because he did not have a removable helmet, but once you start putting removable helmets on characters, it becomes a little bit more of an issue with the sculpting because you've got sculpted hair.
Why wouldn't you just do 2 heads?
Well, you could do 2 heads, but then you're talking potentially, are they going to do something crazy with the price, which it's Hasbro. They might not.
Well, they do it with Marvel.
That's right. They do it with Marvel. So Bo-Katan is coming out. She's got a removable helmet, so that it looks like Katie Sackhoff, but the way that the hair drapes on the figure, because it's molded plastic, it looks a little off. It's kind of compressed, but overall, great looking figure. No way I'm going to be displaying her with the helmet off anyway, so it doesn't matter to me.
There you go.
Yeah. And I got, like you, I've got most of my major I got my, as I'm staring at Kim. Oh, careful what you say now.
Don't. I want it to be a
Don't
surprise.
flub it. Oh, it's going to be a surprise. I
I
guarantee
don't
it's
want
going
to
to
know
be a surprise.
anything.
Well, 75% of this table knows one of your gifts because I was so excited I couldn't keep my mouth shut, but I won't make that mistake tonight. I'm going to keep
Perfect.
that one under wraps. If I'm really, really good, I'll capture the reaction on Christmas Day and we'll put it out as an addendum to this later.
Only if my hair is done and I look okay.
We don't have to put any video out. We can just capture the audio.
Okay.
Or we'll just get someone to hold I'll just do it secretly. Yeah.
Set the camera up and live stream.
How about you, Andy? Where are you at with your Christmas shopping?
Big stuff's all bought. Couple small things still to get, but for the most part, I'm done.
That's good.
Wrapping is the big hurdle to get over now.
I'm actually excited to wrap this year because I think there's a few things that I can either bundle or I can do sort of like, I have an idea for some theme wrapping, which I think is going to be fun. And I do my own wrapping. Like, admittedly, I do. I don't, most years I don't enjoy doing it, but I mean, I do it. Why are you laughing?
I'm sorry. Continue.
It's true,
I know.
but I do it.
You do.
And it's for the most part, it's pretty serviceable.
It's good, and you're getting really good at it.
While being down here and sending packages out, weekly, I got some skills. So hopefully I can translate some of those into gift wrapping and you'll have a good Christmas because of it.
I'm sure I will.
So special thanks over to Andy for wanting to put this one together. And when you'd suggested this, I thought, oh, that's really good. Thought it'd be nice to get together with everybody here in the family and let's talk about Christmas entertainment because it is going up as a Fandom Power episode. It's about the pop culture side of things. So originally we were going to do top Christmas movie, top TV special, top traditional Christmas carol, and then top non-traditional Christmas song. But I think we kind of expanded that for a top 3. And as I said pre-show, before we started rolling, I was a little tardy in my homework this week and unfortunately did not get to screen my number 1 movie, but I did get to screen Kim's.
Mm-hmm.
So we get lots to talk about. So what do you guys want to tackle first? You want to do music, TV, or film?
Maybe we should do it how we reported it in our homework sheets. So that's
Wow, way to drive that one home.
Yeah, bud. So Christmas movies first.
Sure, let's do it.
So are we gonna go round table and everyone's gonna give like the
I
top
think
3?
so. No, I think what we should let's go one person at a time and toss out your top movie there and maybe tell us a little bit about it and why it's the best.
So am I starting?
I think you kind of
Okay.
put your foot in.
Oh, okay. So mine is my top movie is A Christmas Story, which is like that throwback to poor little Ralphie.
Ralphie, you'll shoot your eye out.
Oh my God, I shot my eye out.
Yeah, well, that's the whole gist of the movie is this
Yeah.
Red Ryder BB gun.
The Red Ryder 200-shot range model air rifle.
And that's really all he wants for Christmas, and he really, really struggles. But to me, right, as the movie as a whole, it's such a coming-of-age movie. It's not right, and then we talk about it, and it just happens to be focused around Christmas, and then it shows up on the TV at Christmas. But right, he stands up for himself against a bully.
Yeah.
He comes to the realization that he's not a child anymore, and the world's out to get him with paid advertising for Ovaltine.
Ovaltine? A crummy commercial?
Oh yeah.
And even his father's realizing that his little boy's not a little boy when he flips the nuts out of the hubcap when they're changing the tire.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Fudge.
And he swears, and his dad's like, "Oh my gosh." But they don't say anything. They get back in the car as men, right? They don't tell his mom. It's just all those things. And at the end of it, it doesn't have to be a traditional Christmas to be Christmas.
No.
As long as you're with family. And they go to the Chinese restaurant and, have a Christmas dinner because the dog ran away with the turkey.
We are going out to eat.
And I mean, all those things together, it's a pretty cute movie. Still relative today.
I think of So not to pop that balloon, but honestly, it's probably one of my least favorites. And I don't know why. Like it's a perfectly serviceable Christmas movie. Like you say, it comes on TV every year. And I know I've flipped through the channels and I've stopped and I've tried to watch a little bit and I can't do it. It reminds me of, it's almost like a really long episode of The Wonder Years. Do you know what I mean? In a way. And I didn't really jive on that show very much either. So it's one of those ones that I get a hard time watching it. I like Peter Billingsley, right?
Yep.
I like him. I think he's great, but overall it's a hard one for me to watch.
There you go.
What about you guys?
I have a memory of it when it was still on TBS, or when TBS was still on the air.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they ran A Christmas Story for 24 hours straight.
Back to back to back to
Back to back to back.
with commercials.
Yep.
That could make you hate it real
Oh
quick.
my
Well,
gosh.
it's Jen's favorite movie, so.
Wow. You know what though? But TBS, they did that a lot with a lot of stuff, where they would run movies, 3 or 4 times in a row. Like, I guess that was for the people who maybe lived in that time zone, like the pre-satellite, right?
No, it was a satellite.
Really?
It was.
Oh.
It was a fairly major event for them. They were like, 24 hours of A Christmas Story.
Man, I was thinking as a favor to somebody who couldn't watch it at, 7 o'clock because they were shopping or working, could come home and watch it at 10. But really, it just tells you how attached to it they were, I guess.
How wrong you are.
Damn you, Ted Turner. Oh, yes, I guess so. I am wrong.
Maybe.
Not to poo-poo on your favorite. I'm
No.
sorry.
All right. Are we? Yeah. Now we're round tabling?
Sure.
All right.
I think my first one, it was hard to pick because Christmas, there's so many I do like.
Yeah.
But for me, it's not Christmas if I don't watch this movie.
Yeah.
Christmas Vacation.
I think Christmas
have to
Vacation
watch
is
it.
on a lot of it's
A
on
lot
a
of
lot of
people's
people's lists.
Yeah.
I think I resonate because, he wants this big family Christmas. He wants everything perfect and he tries so hard and he's such
Yeah.
a nice guy and all this bad stuff is happening and he's still trying to keep a good face and, be there for the family. He's getting, kicked in the balls quite a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I can resonate with that because I used to be, I'd have these big dinners, huge, like 25 plus, and I get how he's feeling, right? And if something goes wrong, you're like, oh man.
Were your big dinners like the Griswold table where, 50% didn't want to be with the other half?
Oh, I don't think so way back then.
No.
I think it's just everyone's crammed in and you have all the meal, like that was part of it. That's the fun of it. There's no
Yeah.
room to walk around everyone, but you're just all there and there was no cats dying or nothing like that. Right.
No cats electrocuted under the chair?
No RV in the driveway. There's nothing like that.
Merry Christmas! Dinner was full!
Cheddar's full.
But it's one of my favorites. I have to watch it.
We did refresh on that one last night, and I mean, because since I've been with you, it's been an every year thing for me too, right? Because
Yeah.
I watch it with you, right? And I got to remember, that it's a Christmas movie, but it's also a vacation movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yet it just doesn't, in terms of like weighing it against the other vacations, it doesn't hold up the same way. Like, I think the most vacation thing like that in the movie is the opening scene where they're going to get the Christmas tree in the car.
Clark, stop it! I don't want to spend the holidays dead.
And they have the thing out on the road and it's the family in the station wagon. It's like, oh, vacation, right? And then it just diverts so wildly after that. But then Clark goes to the department store and he has that completely sexist moment with
Oh
the
my
girl
God.
behind the fragrance counter.
I know it's so bad, especially in this day and age,
It
but
is.
it's so friggin' funny.
It's so...
It is a bit nipply out. I mean nippy out. What did I say? Nipple?
It's so funny.
It is.
I was giggling all.
I guess it's part of, like, we were talking sort of pre-show about maybe like some of these things that we still hold near and dear might not, they wouldn't get made the same way today. That's for sure.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, what a great movie. Chevy Chase is always kind of a treat to watch, I think.
And they even poke fun at themselves with the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when Aunt Bethany shows up and asks if Rusty's still in the Navy.
Is Rusty still in the Navy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
But that was her thing the whole time. They get her, say Grace.
Grace! She passed away 30 years ago.
And then instead of doing Grace at the table, she starts the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah.
Well, right. You just insert, your family member that reminds you of that character.
Oh my gosh,
right?
yes.
And it's like, and I think that's sort of the idea of that, right? It's the crazy uncle. It's the crazy aunt.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
It reminds
Yeah.
everyone of their family, right?
I
Dynamic.
said to Kim last night, it's Julia. Oh my God, what's her
Louise
name?
Dreyfus or Louis Dreyfus, something?
Julia Louis Dreyfus from Seinfeld is the neighbor, and they kind of remind me like they're a cross between the nihilists from the Big Lebowski, and then they remind me sort of the extended family from Beetlejuice.
Nice.
Yeah, like the ultra modernists. Whereas obviously Clark and the Griswolds are less than that. Other weird thing, once again, the kids, Russ and oh my Lord, what's her name?
Audrey.
Russ and Audrey recast again, so that the films have no consistent casting for these kids. So you're like, how, like in European Vacation, Rusty's got to be what, 17, 18 years old? And then you jump ahead to Christmas Vacation, and Rusty's now played by Johnny Galecki pre-Roseanne, and he's like, what, 13, 14?
Maybe.
Yeah, he's just
If
this
that.
really young kid, right? So it's like, where does this... I said to Kim, is this like every vacation movies? It's in its own universe? Parallel universes or something?
Do you think that's an age out, or do you think that came down to contract?
I don't know.
I think it came down to star power.
Maybe.
Because the first one is Anthony Michael Hall, isn't it?
That's right, yeah.
And he was pretty big back then.
He was
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
And then, going on through the decades, he kind of lost popularity and they needed a kid again.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. He had a resurgence though.
I think
in
so.
the mid 2000s with that.
Yeah, that TV show.
It's like a
wasn't
supernatural
it?
kind of. Yeah. And I didn't watch it, so I can't tell the
did.
name.
But don't ask me the name.
No. So Christmas Vacation.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, Clark!
Right on. I guess that comes to me. Oh boy. So many to choose from, and I think that part of doing the top 3 was so we'd have some flexibility on what to talk about. And I didn't know what to pick, and I really struggled with it. So like arbitrarily, I went with in order. I went Elf.
I'm Buddy the Elf.
Elf is my number 1. Didn't get to refresh on it, so it's not as fresh in my mind as I would like it to be. But I mean, in broad strokes, Elf is my favorite Christmas movie for a couple of reasons. One, it's super, super informed by Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which is my number 1 Christmas TV special of all time. So I can really appreciate those elements, like the riffing of Sam the Snowman, and that Buddy is dressed, like the elves in the Rankin Bass, and that they did the stop motion animation in there. Like it just, I've been, grooving with the Rankin Bass stuff for well over 25 years. We all have.
sure.
We all grew up on it. And to me, it's like, what would a Rankin Bass Christmas special look like if it was live action?
And I mean, right, throwback to the movies that made us on Netflix.
Yeah, funny how that
Mhm,
is one of them.
And watching that episode,
Yeah.
and that was, to me, that makes Elf that much better because
Doesn't it?
it fills in all the background.
Yeah.
And at some point, Legal was worried
Oh my gosh, were
that
they
it-
ever?
Yeah, that it wasn't necessarily inspired
How
by.
inspired are you?
Yeah, or are we
Yeah.
just plain off ripping?
But look at who they were. 2 guys that it was the first movie they'd ever done. Guy's never been a producer before. I think it was the writer's first script. And holy cow, I had forgotten, or maybe I wasn't really aware that it was directed by Jon Favreau.
Right.
You know what I mean? So oh yeah, props to my man, Johnny. He's doing such great work.
I know him.
But yeah, so I mean, and the other part of that I think is at the heart of the movie, it's, how do you say, coming of age with Will Ferrell, because everything he does is so damn juvenile. But And I think that's part of why we love him. But there's, you know, there's a father-son story in there between him and James Caan, and also his relationship with, oh my lord, Papa Elf, Bob Newhart. Bob Newhart. Bob. You know, I mean, there's this real contrast of relationships, you know, where Bob is like he's the patient. He's so patient, even though like everything he says is just like, I just wish this would end. You know, like put me out of my misery now. He's an elf, of course. Yeah. And then James Caan, who is like, you know,
typical James Caan.
He's a Corleone, so what do you expect, right? But I mean, he pulls it off really well. And then, you know, there's at the center of it all, there's this budding love story, and the innocence that Will Ferrell portrays in Buddy, like it's almost as, it's kind of like, you know, I kind of wonder if maybe he maybe patterned his character off Tom Hanks's portrayal in Big.
Hey!
You know, where he's like this adult whereas in Big, Tom Hanks was a child in an adult's body. You know, in Elf, you have Will Ferrell, who's a child in an adult's body, I guess is really what I'm trying to say. You know, they share some similarities that way, and I think that's part of where I connect with it, because, you know, I'm still a big kid, you know.
I was going to say, are you a man-child, Wes?
I've been called that, but it wasn't in a nice way, so...
I only mean it lovingly.
Well, you know, people who know me can take that however they want, but yeah, sure I am on some level. I love it.
I just like to smile. Smiling's my favorite.
Yeah.
There is a nice connection between your movie and yours.
Yeah.
Because Ralphie grows up to be the elf. That
he does.
Oh, that's true,
up.
isn't it?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
He's got, right. A throwback in there for sure, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they appreciated my movie at least.
Oh, I know that.
They appreciated my TV special.
There you go.
It's not that I don't appreciate your movie. I just don't like it.
That's ridiculous.
Is that the same thing?
Maybe.
I don't know.
You've hurt him. You cut him. Cut him deep. Not liking
his movie. Cut me deep, Shrek.
You cut me real deep just now.
Well, if you want to call me some bad names, you can. You know.
I triple dog dare ya!
Wait until it change on a tire on the side of the road.
Yeah.
I'll bump your nuts in the snowbank.
Damn it. Let's throw it over to you, Andy. What do you got for us?
My top three originally was It's a Wonderful Life.
Jimmy Stewart?
Yep.
Just talking about Jimmy Stewart today, actually, yeah.
You really had a wonderful life.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Whoop, whoop.
Bingo.
And I switched it up. My number three, after going over what's come out, because, like Kim said, there's so many of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this one, it was like, oh, how did I forget that? It's Polar Express.
The Polar Express.
Right. Yeah.
This is the Polar Express.
Tom Hanks' Polar Express.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man of many faces in that one.
Isn't it?
All aboard!
Is it terrible that there's stuff that, I mean, and as I said, when you go start looking back, there's stuff I have not watched.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
And I own Polar Express. I'm sure the kids liked it, but it...
Well, you coming?
Where?
Why, to the North Pole, of course.
I saw an article on the Polar Express recently when people were revisiting it, and I hate to be the voice of criticism, but this is not my criticism. This is just something I read, was the biggest criticism leveled against the movie was they spent all the money rendering Tom Hanks and not anybody else.
Though I've grown old, the bell still rings for me, as it does for all who truly believe.
So while Tom Hanks' character is unmistakably Tom Hanks, all the other characters are just not as animated as well. So I don't know. I mean, you'd know better, Andy. You've seen it.
So these 5 characters got the good rendering.
Yeah. That's good.
But yeah, my number one is Wonderful Life for sure.
Wonderful Life.
That's a good one, though.
Throwback black and white, right?
Yep, originally black and white. It was colorized 3 times over the years by 3 different companies. Like you said, Jimmy Stewart, the lead role is George Bailey. Apparently, they made a sequel for it in 1990. I never saw it.
Well, I didn't.
A made-for-TV movie called Clarence.
Interesting. I'm totally, not in the know of that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'd never seen it, never heard tell until I started looking into it, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
What's the other, what's the big Jimmy Stewart movie? Is it A Wonderful Life?
I think it's
A Wonderful Life. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is. So I read a thing the other day, I had no idea, this is a little aside, but Jimmy Stewart started acting around 1936. By the time the Second World War rolled around, the Americans got involved, he was already famous, right? Well, he gave up acting to join the United States Army Air Corps and became a bomber pilot. And I guess they, because of his fame, they wanted to use him to as a recruiting tool. But he insisted on doing actual combat. So they finally sent him into combat, and he became one of the most distinguished bomber pilots of the Second World War.
He didn't want to end up like Captain America. Song and dance.
Right.
Well, he fixed that.
But I guess he had some real trouble because in his squadron, he lost quite a few planes. So the imagery of these planes going down beside him and seeing people falling out of the sky really affected him. So the article went on to explain how, when he got home, it wasn't really talked about. So there's the scene in, I guess it's in A Wonderful Life, where he's going kind of crazy. Yeah,
in the movie, his character is not allowed to go to war because of an injury he had as a kid.
Yeah.
So he does the whole piece at home, doing bonds and drives and all that deal.
The article went on to talk about a particular scene in the movie where he's just unhinged, and there's speculation that that's not acting, that's whatever he brought back from Europe coming through. So I mean, probably worth going back to watch it just for that, to war is hell, and
puts a different spin on it for sure.
Yeah, it really does. But yeah, Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take away from your story.
No worries.
You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Premise of it is through a series of events, he runs upon some bad luck and has that moment where he wishes, what if I had never been born?
I said I wish I'd never been born.
And
haven't we all thought that?
God basically grants him that and sends him this angel, Clarence.
Clarence out, buddy. Angel second class.
Right.
Who is played by Henry Travers. And then they go and explore the world as if he'd never been there.
Interesting.
And it's pretty dark.
Yeah.
It's very dark.
Yeah.
What I need is a couple of good stiff drinks. How about you, Angel? You want a drink?
You said it's been colorized 3 times.
It has been, yeah. 1986, 1989, and again in 2007.
I assume each time it was done, it was a better process?
I think so. The first time they did it, I don't think they liked it as much because the guy who held the rights, or had lost the rights, I guess at that point, wanted artistic direction, and they wouldn't give it to him.
Oh, no.
So that's, I think, why it got done a second time.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third time is just computer colorization.
Right.
So better technology.
I'd still prefer it in the black and white.
Yeah.
It's kind of like going back to watch the original A Christmas Carol. There are several versions of it, but going back and watching the old one, I kind of expect it to be in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
I own both versions, so.
We were skipping through the streaming services looking for Christmas movies, and the number of versions of A Christmas Carol that are out there, we probably saw at least 5 or 6 different.
Well, that's my second pick, is Scrooged with Bill Murray.
You've got a party hardy, Marty.
Which is based on Christmas Carol.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
That's
such a good one.
It is.
Speaking of being disappointed in who's got what, that's another one that's nobody's carrying right now for streaming. Scrooged.
Really?
Yeah.
AMC's got it.
AMC is a rental?
I believe you can watch it on demand. With AMC Plus.
Oh.
So
do they have a streaming service?
Yeah.
They do.
And if you like it and you want it, you'll get greedy for it.
We'll have to look at that.
That's how lazy we are, because we actually own it in a DVD, but it's downstairs and the millions of DVDs.
That's the way we're going, I guess.
Yeah.
So what was your number 2 and number 3, Kim?
2 was Scrooged
with
Bill Murray. Had to. And then I wanted to pick something different from you guys, right? So we had something to talk about. And I remember being a kid, I was big on the black and white movies to begin with. So Miracle on 34th Street. I remember watching that as a kid and just loving it.
Every time a bell rings.
No, that's my
No,
movie.
Is that your movie? See, oh my gosh.
Every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's
Edit that out.
Wonderful Life.
But which one has the little girl? Yours has the little girl.
Yeah, mine has Zuzu.
Miracle
Mine is
on-
the little girl as well.
Well, with Santa Claus,
With
right?
Santa. And
he's going to go to jail or the crazy house.
Yeah.
Okay, I do know what it is. All right.
And no one believes, and it's, in the end, everyone does. And it's just, I haven't watched it in total honesty in quite a few years, but I remember it had to be one I wanted to watch as a kid. And such good memories watching it.
Since the United States government declares this man to be Santa Claus, this court will not dispute it.
So I put that as my number 3.
Very good.
Yeah.
My number 2 was Elf.
Good choice.
Best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear.
And number 3, controversial, Die Hard.
Die Hard.
No controversy from this fellow.
It's a Christmas movie.
It sure as hell is.
It's Christmas, Theo. It's the time of miracles.
It's as much a Christmas movie as Batman Return is.
Meow.
Why would Batman Return be one?
Batman Returns? Because it
place at
happens at Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Alfred.
Oh, okay.
Even the last line, I'll save a life for next Christmas.
Yep.
Sorry,
But
Batman fans.
I did see something, though, that would make you not happy. Because Die Hard is basically somebody chasing Alan Rickman through a building. It's
Right.
not a Christmas, it's a Harry Potter movie.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, dear.
I just want to hear John McClane say, Expelliarmus.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Expelliarmus. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, dear.
Aren't they redoing that one? Did I
Which
read
one,
that
Die
right?
Hard? So
Did I read
I
that?
read something recently that I don't know if it's a redo or if it's just up for another needless sequel. I think, after the third one, we didn't need any more of them, but somebody believes in them enough to want to throw money down on it.
It's franchise.
It sure is.
Why have original thoughts when there's lots of existing?
Well, we talked about on our show previously about reboots and redos and reimaginings, and I take the flip side to that, and I say, like, for every reboot that we go back to, somebody believes in the story that enough that it's worth revisiting, and largely I think it's true. The delivery isn't always smooth, but and Christmas movies are a prime example of that. With the remakes of all the classics, and
Even Wonderful Life was remade as a Tiny Toon Adventures show.
Oh, Tiny Toons!
It was
I
the
didn't know
final.
that.
Yeah, it was the final episode. Aired in
I
1992.
love Tiny Toons.
They rebooted it
When?
not too long ago.
Before the new Animaniacs.
No.
Okay, that's apparently only a 13 episode run, eh?
Hmm.
The new Animaniacs, another show I can't watch because we don't get. It's on Hulu, I think. It's on Teletoon anyway.
Yes.
We don't get Teletoon at our house.
But if that Disney Plus thing comes through.
Yes. Side note for anybody who hasn't been paying attention to media news this week, if you're a Disney Plus subscriber, come February, you're going to be paying $3 more. However, you're going to be getting the international version of Hulu, and that's going to be called Star. So I equate that to be like, if you have Crave, you can get basic Crave, or you can get Crave plus HBO as an add-on package. This isn't an add-on. This is just we're going to up your rates $3 and you're going to get it.
What happens if now I've paid for my Disney Plus for the year?
Yep.
Am I going to just get a retro bill
I
of
wondered-
the $3 over?
I wondered the same thing.
That's what we do.
Are we going to get prorated on our next bill? Because I don't want to pay like 2 years.
Our Disney just went through.
It did, yeah. We
Like,
just
what,
renewed.
last month?
Yeah, because we got Disney just in time for Mandalorian. We bought it for the Mandalorian, so last December.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're right.
Interesting to see what they do.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
To me, you should wait until the subscription renews. But
I don't know. Would we get the service, though?
who knows? Who knows?
I don't know.
We'll find out.
Other before we get back to the round table, it just reminded me bit of controversy in the last couple of weeks about Warner Brothers and their HBO Max service, and about putting their slate of 2021 movies out to streaming the same day as a theatrical release. And they led that announcement saying, this was about a month ago maybe, they announced Wonder Woman 1984 was going to go to streaming.
Yep, and everyone was happy and tickled pink. And
Sure,
then a few
except
more
for
days,
us Canadians, we were getting the shaft.
Yeah. And then a few more days go by, and they say the entire 2021 is going the same way.
Their whole catalog of films. And I mean, that's got its own sort of, naysayers and detractors, but I was more interested when they came around just the other day, I don't know, 2 or 3 days ago, and announced that no, in fact, Wonder Woman 1984 will be available for streaming in Canada on Christmas Day. So it's going to be a wonderful house at my house this year.
He'll have his lasso out and everything.
He really will. He'll be wearing the uniform.
That's right. Yeah, I'll get my Golden Eagle helmet on.
That's right.
Oh yeah, my bustier.
Awesome.
Nobody wants to see that.
Christmas present for me.
Yeah. So, if we're gonna go, are we gonna go and do everybody's complete lists?
I think we did.
Yeah.
Oh, did you do 2 and 3, Andy?
I did. Polar.
What's your 2 and 3?
Two for me is a Netflix movie, actually. The first Christmas Chronicles with Kurt Russell.
Good movie.
I haven't watched a modern Christmas movie and went, oh wow, probably ever, until I saw that one, and I thought that's probably the best Christmas movie I've seen. Certainly the best original streaming movie I've seen for a holiday movie. Mm-hmm. And yeah, like kind of like your Miracle on 34th Street. It's nobody believes that he's Santa, and
officially it's St. Nicholas.
But he's not, although it's Kurt Russell and he's way more like, I mean, anytime Kurt Russell comes to the forefront, he brings a little bit of that Elvis swagger that he's kind of been famous for as an adult actor. Mm-hmm. And that really shines through in that movie. And I really, really like that.
Let's get this party started.
But yeah, it's, what a great movie where he gets to, he gets to basically save Christmas with a couple of kids. The young daughter, she's a true believer, and the son, he's a little bit more skeptical of everything. And between the three of them, they basically go on an adventure to save Christmas for the world in a way that was wholly kind of, was it original? It felt original. And if it wasn't an original idea, it felt fresh. And, very, very rarely, not since I was a kid, and Scott, you can appreciate this, in Wayne Robinson's grade 5 class, have I had an appreciation for musical numbers, right? As I did in this one, right? I say that because our grade 5 teacher was a big fan of musicals, and I think we probably watched, 5 or 6, that year.
Lots.
Yeah. He liked them, therefore we like them.
That's really cool that he shared that with you guys.
Absolutely, yeah. So on those days where, there was no lesson or whatever, and he was a big movie guy, right? Mm-hmm. He would bring in his
Laserdisc.
No, not even VCD. VCD, the precursor to Laserdisc. It was like a record player that you, big plastic jacket that you shoved the whole thing in the machine, and you pulled the jacket out, and it was like a record stayed in the machine. You played half the movie, and then you pulled it out, flipped it over, and put it back in. And
you paid way more attention than me. I just assumed it was a Laserdisc.
No, it was this record that essentially had a movie on it.
And I thought that was a Laserdisc.
No. Yes, but more like traditional vinyl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember one of the girls in our class was helping him catalog his collection. Like, he did handwritten notes, and she was taking it and typing it or something. Which I thought was pretty odd for a grade 5 student, but hey. Yeah.
Whatever.
Christmas Chronicles, number 2 for me. And number 3, the most out of left field one is Star Wars.
I mean, can't you just wave your hand and Jedi mind trick the cops?
I'm Santa Claus, Teddy, not Yoda.
And I know it's not a Christmas movie, but I associate Star Wars, and I could have said Star Wars, or I could have said any of the Star Trek films, because I associate all of them. At least the first 3 Star Trek films I associate with Christmas, only because my mom's brother, my uncle, is kind of eccentric, and he would turn up for Christmas, and sometimes he would stay with us for upwards of 2 weeks, but when he was still driving and mobile, he would show up with a Betamax player and a suitcase full of tapes, right? And so when Uncle Graham was coming for Christmas, I was like a kid in a candy store, because I was getting to see all these movies that I, didn't have opportunity to see, even though we had cable TV. at that age, 9, 10 years old.
I think too, right? You got to remember when we were kids, cable companies weren't buying the rights to a whole lot of movies.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
And it's not like now. And I agree with you. Like, right, there's movies that aren't Christmas movies, but because when you get to the holidays and there's all this time off and they know that people are home and all of a sudden they're doing these marathons and they do the same marathons every year. So all of a sudden that does become a Christmas tradition.
Yeah.
And right, as I've said before, right, I remember whatever birthday that was, and same thing. My dad brought home Star Wars or Empire, and I watched the heck out of it.
Oh yeah,
on my birthday. So like that's a January thing because that's what right. So that's cool though, right? And those are memories, and that's what sticks with you for sure. It becomes its own thing, right?
Yeah, it's certainly informed. It's informed me as an adult. Like it's had so much influence on my life. In looking back now at 46, on just how big a role that movie, that entire franchise has played in my life. It's pretty instrumental when I really really look at it. But yeah, Star Wars was my number 3, and arguably could have been my number 1, but I wanted to keep the theme more like Christmas. So yeah, but Star Wars, yeah.
Cool.
Well, that wraps it up for movies, I think. Shall we move into TV?
Sure.
Cool.
So same order?
Oh, we can switch it up if you want. You want to go Kim first?
Let me pull up my list.
Sure.
So, Christmas specials on TV.
Yeah, TV specials.
Rudolph, Red-Nosed Reindeer was my
your number one? We share that one.
And I think, especially our generation, everyone. Number 2 was Little Drummer Boy. And it's not one I've seen recently again, but it's one of those ones that resonates with me.
Yep.
I loved watching that one. And the third one was Charlie Brown's Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Charlie Brown!
Such a sad little Christmas tree.
I know.
I think 3 of us had Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I think you had it as well, Andy.
Yep.
And I did.
And number 2 for me.
Number 2 for you. So,
Yep.
I mean, lots of common ground there. What makes Rudolph your number 1, Kim?
Well, I think as a kid, just the way it's shot, right? Like, there was no other movie like that. It was just so unique, and it was just so, I don't know, endearing? Is that?
Yep.
There was just something about it. I loved everything about it.
I mean, I don't have the technical information in front of me, but was Rudolph, by chance, was it the first Rankin Bass stop motion? Was there anything before that?
If there is, I wouldn't know it. Like, that was the first I remember seeing like that.
Yeah. So in order, would Santa Claus Comes to Town been before Rudolph?
Right.
That's my number 2.
Number 3.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
I don't know what the sequence was for how those got released, right? Because
or wasn't Frosty like that too?
Yeah. And then
Frosty.
The first Frosty was animated.
Frosty the Snowman was traditional cell animation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Later on, he did though. Yeah.
Later
I was going to say, because I kind of remember
Yeah.
him being like
Yeah,
that.
he appeared. So he's actually, we have it at home. I pulled it out last night. It's Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July, and he's stop motion in that.
Oh, okay.
But he and Crystal, Mrs. Frosty, Crystal, are still voiced by their original actors.
What a neat thing to happen to a nice guy like me.
Frosty, later on, they did another one with him, traditional cell animation, where John Goodman actually voiced Frosty once.
Yeah.
Kind of took me out of it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, Rudolph. So I mean, being that it's on all of our lists, how do you not have a place for that movie or that?
You just
TV
smile
special?
when you think of it.
I didn't smile as much last night as I anticipated that I would, but maybe because I knew we were going to talk about it, so I was like, "Oh, I need to take this in." But I said to Andy pre-show, I'm like, maybe it's because I didn't watch it last year.
What?
And other years it's kind of like background because I've seen it so many times. But my God, is Santa ever a bastard in this show? He's a mean old bugger.
I've been a right bastard.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I mean, him and the chief elf, they're both like cut from the same cloth. Like they're like our parents' generation or our grandparents' generation, where there was no qualms about like putting somebody down for their differences, and they really, it's on the nose. Like,
you'll never fit in.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that, I don't want to say offensive, but on some level offensive.
Good grief! tree!
Well, there's that whole scene where Rudolph's dad's going out to look for him. And
Donner.
Yeah. And the mom and Clarice they're like, we'll go too. And he's like, no. This is man's work.
Man's
I was
work,
surprised at that.
Man's work.
No, this is man's work.
And then they went and did it anyway, as strong women.
I think the appeal to that is the whole, there's 4 of us sitting around a table, ostensibly talking to ourselves because we have no idea if anybody's ever going to hear this, right? I mean, how does that not encapsulate the idea of the misfits? Rudolph was, identified as a misfit. Hermie, he identified as a misfit. And on some level, so is Yukon Cornelius, right? Because, he's this louder than life or larger than life character. Woohoo! At everything, right?
The greatest prospector in the North!
So, these three
I
misfits.
kind of noticed last night, and I didn't watch through the whole movie, but he's the only elf with hair.
Hermie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got the blonde wave. The rest of them have just got the hats on, no hair.
Chief Elf's got his goatee, but
yeah, but I mean hair.
Oh yeah, hair on his head.
Yeah.
Do you not think that's because he was fabulous?
Well, and I thought that was another distinction to make him different, right? To have this flowing blonde little.
He's also. I probably knew this, but I never really picked up on it. He's got round ears like a human, whereas the rest of the elves have
I didn't notice
pointy
that.
ears. Yeah, he's got round ears. And he's wearing blue when everybody else is wearing green. No, they're all wearing blue. Sorry, it's the chief elf that's wearing green.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yeah, but round ears and like you say,
I didn't notice the ears.
Blonde wavy hair and just not satisfied in my work. Well, do you mind telling me what you want to do?
A dentist.
A dentist?
I want to be a dentist.
A dentist?
Well, we need one up here.
I love all of that.
Well, such is the life of an elf.
Interestingly enough, there's a solid Canadian connection to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Billy, I can't think of her last name. The voice of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was actually a Canadian lady, actually. And if you can remember her name, you're better than I am, because I can't right now. But yeah. And the fact that, they pretty much, without saying it, the movie's in Canada, because it's, Yukon Cornelius in the Yukon.
This is my land!
This side of Hudson Bay! He's my favorite character in the whole thing.
Fog as thick as peanut butter.
And he still, if Santa's and Donner are both real on-the-nose bastardish a-holes, he's not. He's immediately accepting of them, and I get that's still kind of special for me. That and like the Misfit Toys thing, and
Hey, we're all misfits too.
I just love it. With the exception of like the mean aspect of those two characters, the whole thing, just the visual style, the music. Burl Ives, my God, what a treat!
I love this Christmassy time of year.
Listening to him narrate, and then for him to sing, like his singing of those songs in that TV special really sort of influenced the Christmas carols that I enjoyed more as a kid. So when his stuff came on the radio, or if, Mom put a record on with the Christmas carols, I wanted to hear his songs because they're the ones that I knew the most and was
Makes
able
you feel
to.
good.
Yeah, they really did. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Magnificent!
TV special.
For me?
Yeah.
My top 3, they were ever evolving, but
oh well.
Number 1, Rudolph.
Nice.
Number 2, South Park, Mr. Hanky. Number 3, Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean.
And then honorable mentions to the SpongeBob Christmas and Muppet Family Christmas.
Oh,
those are all good ones.
So Muppet Family Christmas came up in my Facebook feed not too long ago. Somebody posted a photo, and I'm like, wait a minute, because I was thinking Muppet Christmas Carol, right? I'm like, there was another one.
There was. This was the good one.
It's on YouTube.
Nice.
So we went.
Is it complete though?
Yes. Well, I think it's complete.
There's a version of it that got released on DVD and whatnot everywhere.
Okay.
But because they had lost the rights to Muppet Babies, this whole sequence is torn out of it.
Is it animated?
No, it's all.
They're done as puppets.
Done Muppets.
Then that is the version that's on YouTube that I watched earlier this week, and that's the part that got me. Was I remember I remember that it existed because that opening scene where Fozzie and Kermit are in the cab of the pickup truck and they're driving to Fozzie's mom's house and they got the Electric Mayhem and a few of the guys in the back of an open pickup truck in a snowstorm.
This is the best idea we've had in years.
But then they get there and I didn't remember that has there been ever been another Jim Henson production that had everybody in it?
I don't think so.
And by everybody, I mean
Sesame Street Gang, the Fraggles.
Yeah,
the
Muppet Show and Muppet Babies. So, I mean, all the Jim Henson properties of the day.
Well, Jim's in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure he is.
Mm-hmm.
Does the dishes at the end of the...
He does, with Sprocket.
Sprocket.
Somebody's got to do something about these dishes, Sprocket. Come on. I'll wash and you dry, okay?
Yeah. What a great show that was.
It was.
Sorry, Andy, what was your Mr. South Park, Mr. Hankey?
Yeah, Mr. Hankey was my number 2.
Oh.
What the hell is Christmas poo?
Season 1, Episode 9, originally aired December 17th, 1997. And it's notable because it's the first episode in which Kenny doesn't die.
Oh, wow.
Is it because it was Christmas?
It's because it was Christmas.
Aww.
See, the only piece of trivia that I could even put out about that is it's a season 1 episode. So I know that that's back when they were still doing everything by hand and it was paper cutouts. All those characters were done with paper. Yeah. Kind of like the stop motion of the day, right?
Yep.
Yeah. 2-dimensional stop motion, I guess.
Yeah. But, Mr. Hankey the Christmas poo.
Mr. Hankey the Christmas poo. He loves me and I love you. Christmas poo.
Mr. Hankey.
Nice. So wait, Kim, you just blew through your top 3, right?
I think so.
Did you? Rudolph.
Rudolph
was your
my
1.
thing keeps updating.
Oh.
Yeah, Rudolph, the Little Drummer Boy.
Little Drummer Boy. Another Rankin Bass production, but I think Little Drummer Boy, I think of that's, it's the most religious.
It is the most religious.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a direct, it literally follows the verses of the song.
I think my great grandmother used to take me to Sunday school.
Yeah.
So I went to Sunday school every Sunday, obviously. And I don't know, that one I felt so bad for the little guy.
I have no gift to bring.
Yeah.
I just fell in love with him and his little hard life, and I don't know. It's just special.
Yeah. It's interesting, and I like all the Rankin Bass stuff. My whole list is pretty much Rankin Bass, so there's no surprise that I like it. But again, that would probably be my least favorite of them. And what was your other one?
Charlie Brown's Christmas.
Oh, Charlie Brown Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Which is just a fun one.
I never thought it was such a bad little tree.
I love Peanuts. I love the Peanuts gang. I love everything about them. I love Charles Schultz. I think he was a genius. I mean, man, even I was so excited when they got a feature film. All of those Christmas specials, all those holiday specials. I mean, I love all of them.
A special for every holiday.
There really is, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then even the ones that didn't revolve around a holiday. There was that one where they went to, I can't think of the name of it. You don't see it as often, but they went to summer camp. Can't remember that. It was like a girls' camp and a boys' camp, and it was pretty cool. We just saw the Peanuts holiday collection today. Was it a Blu-ray?
I don't know, probably.
But it was in this awesome clear plastic slipcover, and inside was a 3-dimensional doghouse with a Snoopy figurine, and then of course the movies were inside the doghouse. I guess the doghouse was the right dimensions for the Blu-ray case.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Where are we at? I guess I should maybe look
at Scotty. I think.
I guess so. Yeah.
So the classic, the Grinch.
Oh, good one.
Steals Christmas.
I must stop Christmas from coming.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And Santa Claus Comes to Town. Is coming to town.
Santa Claus coming to town.
But yeah, you know what? In everything that's been redone with the Grinch, I'm still the original.
You're a mean one. Mr.
Yeah,
Grinch.
I think they really tried to flesh it out and give a lot of backstory, and I
didn't mind the Jim Carrey take on it.
Well, there's that new one that's out now.
Yeah,
we tried to watch it the other day, and I just could not.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Is that who voices him? Yeah. I couldn't place
Doctor
it.
Strange as the Grinch.
What is it? Benedict Cucumber Patch?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But the original, and it just, again, same thing, very reminiscent of my childhood, and that was the one that left the lasting impression, right? Versus everything else that's come after isn't mine.
Right. That makes sense.
I think that Dr. Seuss's writing is just, it's untouchable. You can't compete with that on that level. And Boris Karloff, like famed horror actor Boris Karloff, is the narrator. Again, much like Rudolph, it's just, and you say, Scott, you associate it so much with that particular time in your life that nothing else compares to it, right? I feel the same way about it too. Oh, I had this one I picked. I caught this one later on in life, and I think we watched it last year. It's another one that you can find on YouTube. It's kind of funny. It's Robbie the Reindeer Hooves of Fire.
It must be the last of some rare and endangered species.
Cool! Let's kill it!
And if you've not seen this thing, it's a British production, so it's got that sort of British wit to it, but it's done in the same style as like Wallace and Gromit or like Chicken Run.
Right, so claymation.
So yeah, also a form of stop motion, I guess, but claymation. And Robbie is like Rudolph's son.
Hello, call me Robbie, 'cause I am.
And he just has this, it's Rudolph's story all over again, but it's now Robbie's turn to live up to the old man. And he's clumsy and kind of goofy in a Bean kind of way. But the reindeer games are done like Olympic games, and it's pretty good. It's pretty funny. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, I recommend it. You can actually get it on when it aired on the CBC, I think back in it'd be the early 2000s, with an all Western voiceover cast. But when you look it up on YouTube, I'm pretty sure it's all British voice acted. It doesn't take away from it. In fact, I think it's probably better that way.
I didn't like that one.
You didn't like it?
No.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Any problems, come and see me. If you don't have any problems, see me anyway.
That's okay.
Well, did we get everybody's?
We did.
Holy cow. And those lists, I think, of films and TV, we all agree, like they could have been
it could still keep growing.
Well, that's
100%.
just it, right? I mean, there's
100%.
so many more. Just in the Rankin Bass stuff alone, I mean, there's half a dozen or more. The Jack Frosts and the Frosty the Snowmans.
Yeah. Shiny New Year. And...
What's the one with the
That's a Frost.
Rudolph and the Baby New Year.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I haven't thought of that one in
What's
forever.
is it Santa Claus is coming to town with the Meisterburger Burgermeister?
Yes.
Yeah.
A mean old grouch of a fellow who was known as Burgermeister Meisterburger.
And his clockwork steam-powered horse.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Oh, great
But
stuff.
yeah, there's a whole like subset through those that like, right, if you piece it all together, it's quite the...
It's the original MCU.
Yeah.
Mickey Rooney as Santa Claus, he was much nicer than Rudolph.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
he
so
was.
true. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, Mickey Rooney.
Not call myself Kringle. What other name would suit me?
He was such
And
a
just
cool guy.
just a little throughout, because Michelle didn't make it tonight, but we're also forgetting about all those Hallmark.
Michelle's not. She's probably watching them right now.
She might be.
She should be here for that.
She is a Hallmark Christmas girl. 365 days a year.
Yeah.
And even if they all follow the same premise and all end the same way, she loves each and every one.
We've had this conversation. I think I even made a joke at Michelle about how it's one movie with 600 different actors.
Yeah, but apparently, you know what? They're being successful. They have an entire channel. How can that be wrong?
That's right.
Yeah.
But,
unless you're a Lori Loughlin fan, in which case you're out of luck.
But and you know what? And as we picked a lot of stuff that was sort of classic, on the TV. And really, nowadays, I would tell you, right? In looking for a few of these to look at, right? Amazon's got a Christmas collection tab. Netflix has got a tab, and with lots of original content, right? Started watching a cartoon one. I think it was just called Claus, and it was sort of this whole thing.
Is that the one with the mailman?
It is.
Yeah, that's a Netflix movie.
Yeah, and it actually, the first little bit that I got to watch wasn't actually that bad.
We were watching.
I think it came out last year.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Last year.
I think I've seen that one.
What did we just we just rewatched all 3 in the same day. The Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Right.
It actually holds up. It was pretty cool.
The second one. Have you've all seen that? Right?
Yes.
So in the second one, when they're at the North Pole and there's a meeting of the legendaries.
On behalf of the entire Council of Legendary Figures, I'd like to thank you.
The Legendary Council. Anybody else remember the animated movie that came out a couple years ago where it's all of them and they're like superheroes?
I do remember that. I couldn't tell you what it's called, but
isn't it called Legendaries?
Maybe.
Or the Guardians or something?
Guardians, that's right. The Guardians. Is that inspired by any chance? Who knows? But I just thought, like, oh yeah, the Easter Bunny's there, Santa Claus, Cupid,
Sandman.
Yeah, Sandman, Father Time, Mother Nature, Jack Frost. They're all, in this legendary council of peoples.
Apparently, they're going to be making another one.
Which one? The Santa Claus? I did see a thing. So I said this to Kim about, there was a picture I'd seen with Tim Allen, and it looked like he was growing his facial hair out.
Maybe.
Which I find kind of odd because it's all prosthesis in those movies, right?
Some are, some aren't. Like Kurt Russell, he grew his own beard out. And his hair.
Man, I would die to be able to
I'm sure
grow a
there was
beard
some
like
extensions in there.
Sure.
But I remember seeing pictures in his normal life. And he's grown it out.
I know the guy, I would kill to have that man's hairline. But if I could grow hair like that, I'd have an awesome beard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, that brings us to the conclusion of our visual portion of the show. Unless there's any more you guys want to talk about.
I could throw some more honorable mentions out there.
You've got like a yard arms list of them.
I know. Movie-wise.
Yeah, go for it.
One I can't... this is a personal one for me.
Yeah.
Everybody else hates it, is Earnest Saves Christmas.
Oh my goodness. Yes. That's a cute movie.
I don't know if I saw... I know I've seen a couple of the Earnest movies. I think maybe I stopped when Earnest joined the army.
Ho, 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 Bert.
I just, I still think of him as the TV commercial guy. And you know what? I can't even tell you what he was advertising now.
Know what I mean?
Was it insurance? Was it an insurance commercial? What was it?
I couldn't tell you.
Well, this is it. That guy transcended whatever his character transcended its original form to become this huge, thing.
Yeah.
Earnest Saves Christmas. So what, does he take the Santa role or?
No, actually Santa shows up to help out a young girl.
Yeah.
And she inadvertently steals his magic sack. And Ernest takes her home, and she
magic sack, you say?
Yes. She reaches into that sack and just starts pulling presents out. But because he doesn't have it, everybody's calling Santa Claus nuts, and he gets hauled off to jail. But Ernest then steps in, and they go and rescue Santa and get the reindeer and get everything on track. But they take a twist on it because Santa has a limited amount of magic.
Yes.
So he has to pass it to a new person every now and again.
Right.
To keep the magic going. And that's what he is there for.
See what I mean about these ideas not being new or not being they're the same thing happened in the Santa Claus with Tim Allen when he took the coat off.
I think that's with every genre.
He had a limited amount of magic that he could still throw some Christmas magic there, even though he wasn't, or maybe it's because he was still technically Santa at that point.
Totally off topic, but it's the same as say vampires, right? Vampires, the lore of it has changed over movie a little bit, but the basis is always the same. Same with Christmas. Santa can only do,
my vampires don't sparkle.
Well, that's the variation, right?
Oh, and talk about Santa being going back to the Guardians thing and them being superheroes. You cannot tell me that Santa is not the most badass wizard on the planet when he shows up in the Chronicles of Narnia.
Santa's in Chronicles of Narnia?
Oh, yes, he is.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
What? It's only, 15 years old?
Probably.
In the movie or the book?
Well, let's...
I would assume both.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the movie, and I don't remember.
While you doing a
The
Google
Chronicles of Narnia, Santa Claus.
a Google search, Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas. Love
Another
it.
good one.
Eureka!
Amazing.
And whether that's a Halloween movie or
both.
It's kind of both. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they do a really good job, I think.
This year, Christmas will be ours!
Yeah, Santa Claus shows up in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe as Father Christmas. He actually, oh my God, what does he do? In fact, there's a picture of him. It's the same guy that played the original.
Oh, I remember now. Yes, he does.
He's funny now looking at him. He's the original captain of the Night Watch. Yeah, Father Christmas. I've come at last. She's kept me out for a long time, but I have got in at last. Aslan is on the move. The witch's magic is weakening.
Long live Aslan.
Yeah, Father Christmas in chapter 10.
Right, I remember now.
Yeah, but I mean, I always thought of, like, especially being as a pop culture nerd and liking things like Dungeons and Dragons and all that fantasy stuff. Like, we've always joked about, Santa Claus and the elves, and it's like, oh, if I was to riff on this, what would I do? And, doing Santa Claus as like a badass didn't occur to me until much later on. But then to see him in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, I'm like, oh yeah, of course he is.
You even think that episode of The Big Bang Theory,
yeah,
when Leonard does the Christmas adventure,
right?
And it's all, yeah.
Ho, 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 you big dork!
Which is cool, right? And there's a lot of things, and I mean, there's a ton of lore.
Oh, yeah.
Just about Christmas in general that you can dig into, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Fantastical beasts that can fly and,
of course,
time travel.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
He is the shadow of St. Nicholas.
Elementals and wizards. And
his name is Krampus.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Of course. I just had this thought. I was thinking about as this stuff just keeps coming up, right? Because, like I say, there's this endless list if we really keep going. But it just occurred to me, one of the other ones I loved as a kid. Did you guys catch Yogi's First Christmas?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Loved Yogi's First Christmas because they broke it up over 5 nights or 4 nights, so you had to stay up every night to watch it all.
With the crazy man in the mountain?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean I woke up in time for Christmas?
I love that one.
Wasn't that Herman the Hermit?
It was.
Is that his name, Herman? Herman the Hermit?
Herman.
I don't remember. But I have it on. It's on one of our DVDs at home, so I'm definitely gonna rewatch it.
Yeah.
Watching Rudolph the other night, I kind of giggled because Yukon Cornelius made licking an axe cool before Miley Cyrus.
Oh, of course he did. So here's the thing, right? You can find it on YouTube and you can find it on the internet, but there's actually a small list of like original script ideas and things that were changed for the broadcast. Originally, so why he licks his heart, right?
It's a taste.
Right, because he drops it in the ground, and he's like, oh, nothing. Yukon originally, in the original version, and you can find the cutscene, it was actually prospecting for peppermint. And that's why he licks the axe.
I'm pretty sure that's in the movie.
I think it's later on, though.
He explains it. That's what he's doing.
Yeah. There's a cutscene, though, with him licking it where it's he either gets peppermint or he says, like, specifically, no peppermint or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought he was looking for gold.
That's what I thought, too, but...
peppermint.
Yeah, peppermint.
Which makes sense. At least you'd be able to taste it.
Yeah. So what else we got here? Any more movies or TV specials we want to throw out there before we move on?
Oh, there's lots of them.
Oh my gosh.
Santa Jaws, if you want some Christmas cheese.
Oh boy.
Not that I know any, but do you guys have one-liners and we can try and guess what it's from?
Not this guy, but the guy across the table is all about
one-liners. Christmas one-liners?
Sure. I'm not good at it, but...
Jitter's fault.
Oh.
There's that.
We've
one.
come unprepared.
I guess so.
Well, we should have talked about that ahead of time. And then you could have...
that would have been fun.
Dragged her out.
We could have written some down.
Mm-hmm.
Merry Christmas, movie house.
You got me on that one.
That's familiar.
It's my number one choice. So.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Wonderful Life.
Merry Christmas, movie house!
Yeah.
Wow. What have I got? Have I got anything? Happy birthday.
That's a Frosty. Yeah.
Happy birthday.
I don't know. Those ones I like a lot. Because I do impressions of them all year round, maybe.
Electric sex glowing in the window.
That's the Christmas Story, right? That's the shapely leg lamp.
The major award.
But it's a major award.
Oh my god.
You'll shoot your eye out.
Still so popular.
You can still buy that lamp.
We can still get it.
Yeah, I was going to say, so
supplier.
what, the 4 years we've been in business, and those that comes around every year.
And gets sold out.
In 2 scales. You can get it in like 1/3 scale, or we've actually, last year, haven't seen it this year. Last year it was offered in 1-to-1 scale. A real working lamp.
It's amazing.
I don't know what you do with it other than to put it in your front window like at Christmas. But then, do you pack it up and put it away, or
somebody who loves Christmas.
Leave it up all year round.
That's that would be the type, like that's as a gift. I would give it to somebody who's like, oh, that's my thing.
You can get one for Scott. It's his favorite movie.
Fragile. It must be Italian.
Yeah, but is it your thing?
Christmas is not my thing.
So there you go. All right. I think we've beat that one. Let's move on.
All right.
You're listening to Fandom Power.
Let's talk about Christmas carols. And I thought we'd start with the traditional ones. And by traditional, we kind of argued this a little bit, Andy, about what we consider to be traditional. So I think we said like Elvis and Bing Crosby and those guys, like the crooners of the day. That counts in terms of traditional. So I don't know. Do you want to start? Oh, go ahead, Scott.
I agree. Like, right? It, no matter who it is, if they're singing a Christmas carol, even an untraditional artist singing a traditional Christmas song is still a traditional Christmas carol.
I think it comes, for me,
yeah, I agree.
I agree with you on that, with a small but. And my small but is when you fundamentally change the arrangement of the song, where it doesn't, it's not
right.
That to me is like, what? No.
All of a sudden, when it's death metal and it's like, "Oh, come ye faithful."
I don't know. Jack Black just put out a new one of what was it?
Oh, Silent Night.
Yeah,
and it's like a heavy metal thrasher.
Yeah.
It's pretty entertaining.
What did you expect from? Oh my God,
Tenacious D.
Yeah. Oh, I love them.
Silent Night, Holy Night.
They're so good.
I guess I'll start this round, and again, just like our movies and TV shows, there's a lot of things that could come up for me that didn't. But I went with, so my top 2, and no surprise, my top 2 are O Come All Ye Faithful / Adeste Fidela, depending on what language you're listening it to.
Oh, come all ye faithful.
And my number 2 is O Christmas Tree or O Tannenbaum, depending on what language you're listening to. And I mean, there could have been other ones in there. My 3rd one, O Holy Night, it could have easily been number 1. Any of these could have been my number 1, to be honest with you. I mean, I love them. I actually prefer the first 2 in one. I guess Adeste Fidela is what? Italian? Spanish? No, it's Italian, I think.
If you're saying it, you should know.
I don't. That's the thing. I actually find them better in a foreign language. To me, it sounds more like they're totally operatic. And I have no appreciation for opera, but like when Pavarotti sings Adeste Fidela, I'm completely locked in.
Oh, he's a beautiful singer.
Yeah. And I mean, the origins of O Christmas Tree are right out of O Tannenbaum. So like to hear it in German, and German is like a hard language too when people are speaking it. Like it's very
angry.
Yeah. So
very angry.
For it to come across in this beautiful,
O Tannenbaum, O Tannenbaum.
I don't know, it's beautiful.
Did you see Hitler perform it on South Park?
No.
They did do that one.
Oh, Tannenbaum, oh, Tannenbaum.
Why isn't Hitler's come up in our show twice this week?
Don't know. Yeah, he's burning in hell, and Satan comes up. Oh, what's the matter? Don't you have a Christmas tree?
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, Tannenbaum."
Oh boy. Now,
that's awesome.
If it was Hitler as played by Taika Waititi, I would be down for it. Go see Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah.
Jojo Rabbit for the win if you've never seen it. And no, it's not a Christmas movie, but it's still good. Anybody do Christmas caroling as kids?
We went out.
Did you?
Yeah.
Your family, or did you go with the bigger group?
Church
group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I never did. I'd been caroled before. The people came to our house, but I'd never been caroling.
So how many songs until you shut the door in their face?
How many do I think you should stick around for?
Whatever.
I think it's a kind of a, like, you got to sort of, you're sussing each other out. It's this reciprocal relationship, is it not? Like, you're going to get one for sure.
Right.
2, if I'm feeling pretty good about it. 3rd, you're probably like, okay,
I gotta shut the door now.
Yeah.
What's the matter? You raised in a barn? Shut the door.
Yeah, you're letting all the hot air out.
Okay, so someone who's, as a caroler, what was your average?
I don't even know. I don't even remember. I remember it was cold and I didn't want to be there.
How many of the songs did you not know the lyrics to and you just hummed it anyway?
I think they gave us words on paper.
Gave you lyric sheets.
Yeah.
Okay.
No
That's
excuses.
Me. I know choruses to some of these things, but like,
right, you sing extra hard on the words you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Making up for lost words.
Yeah. Georgia still, that's me on any song. And she's like, you're singing that wrong. And I'm like, sounds right to me.
That's what I said. No secret. I sing in the car. I sing in the shower. Those are my 2 biggest places for singing. And, we'll be driving down the road and I'll stick my hand in front of Kim's face like it's a microphone. Like, go. And she does this like, clams right up, right?
Yeah, it's intimidating.
Take it, Russ.
He's like, I don't know the words. I'm like, neither do I. I just sing whatever the hell I want. So I guess it works for Christmas carols too.
There you go.
What about you guys? What's your favorites?
I was Silent Night.
Silent Night.
Me too.
Little Drummer Boy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Don't They Know It's Christmas?
It's Christmas time.
That's a good one.
By Band-Aid.
As your traditional.
Oh, yeah, I threw it in there.
It's old enough. It could
Because
be.
my yeah, exactly, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was to me. So it's my untraditionals are untraditional.
They're way out there?
I believe so.
Oh, see, that's funny because Band-Aid made my non-traditional list. So when we talk about Band-Aid, are we talking about the original Band-Aid or the redo that came out?
The original.
So what's that, like 80s?
Yes.
85?
Right? Michael Jackson and...
Yeah.
Yeah, because it starts out with, I think actually, if I hum the song in my head, I could probably name the first 3 or 4 people. It starts with Paul Young.
Everybody's in it.
Paul Young.
Lionel Richie?
Yeah,
Yes,
he's in
he's
there.
there.
Simon Le Bon is in there.
George Michael's in there.
Everybody's in there. Every One of the Day.
Yeah.
Now, did that come before... What was the big USA for Africa song that Lionel Richie and Michael Jackson wrote?
We Are the World?
That's the one. No, did Band-Aid come pre or post that? I think We Are the World, was the catalyst for all those, because then the Band-Aid song came out, and then there was the Canadian one, which actually is pretty good. Do they know it's Christmas? Did I say that right? No, I didn't, do I?
I don't know.
I can't even remember.
Do they know it's Christmas?
No, that's the one we're talking about. The Canadian one is, oh my Lord, Feed the World. Tears Are Not Enough. That's what it's called.
There you go.
I had to sing it in my head a few times before I got to the chorus, and I'm like, oh yeah, heaven knows, tears are not enough. Wow. Yeah. So, what about you, Kim?
I picked Silent Night as my first one.
Nice.
I love that one. Baby, It's Cold Outside.
I really can't
But baby, it's cold outside.
And I know it's been controversial lately, but it's still an awesome song.
Which artist?
I like any version, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
I know there's one that I associate. I can't tell you what her name is, but it's a lady singing it.
Well, it's supposed to be. It's a man and a woman. It's a duet.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Normally.
It's an older version, but that's the one I think of as being the right one?
Yeah, I don't know who sang the original. I should have done my research.
I don't even know if that's the right way to say it. The right one?
Yeah, I don't know. And O Come All Ye Faithful is my third.
Oh, I should have... See, that could have been on my list too.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was.
Oh, wait. It is on my list. It's
I'm
number.
pretty sure you stole it from me.
Oh yeah, it was my number 1. Yeah,
you're the foreign version though.
Oh my, yes, that's right. I'm the foreign language version of all of these.
But you don't know which language.
Oh, it's funny, we don't listen to a lot of Christmas carols at our house, but yet, I still have a lot of fond memories of
I don't know. I found some. Well, we stream everything. Some radio stations that have been playing
all
Christmas
music all day.
So I put that on when I work because I work from the house, right?
I don't remember what year it came out. Actually, I'll save it because we still got to get through Andy's choices. Did we get through yours?
Not yet.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
What do you got?
Number 1, It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas by Bing Crosby.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Yes, anything Bing Crosby. Yeah. Yes, 100%.
Originally written in 1951 by Meredith Willson. Recorded originally by Perry Como.
Oh, wow.
Ooh,
that's
Perry
cool.
Como.
Yeah, and he did it in September of 1951, whereas Bing came out October 1st, 1951.
Oh, wow.
So it's been re-recorded a bunch of times since. But, yeah.
Hasn't everything we've talked about, though?
Yeah, maybe. But the Bing Crosby is the one for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Blue Christmas by Elvis.
I'll have a blue.
I'll have a blue.
I love Elvis so much.
Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I think? My mom loved Elvis, so by extension, I had some appreciation for it. But Blue Christmas is a good one.
Yeah. And then Jingle Bells, no particular version.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
No particular version.
Be it the Cats and Dogs or anyone else.
No, not that one.
I saw a cute one the other day that it was you that posted it, and it was like, no Batman, Robin did not lay an egg. And yeah. It was like all those things.
Oh, that's
that
cute.
Really
that's
didn't happen.
Cute.
Yeah.
The Joker did not get away.
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah. So I guess that brings us into our non-traditional Christmas music. Maybe I flubbed this because the first one that I picked is actually, I guess technically now, by the standards that we've established, is a traditional Christmas song, but Christmas Baby Please Come Home, the U2 version. Which I really like. It's one of those songs that tells a story, and it's a typical Christmas story, right? Where, man and woman or couple is apart, and the singer wants that person to come home, and so that they're not alone for Christmas. And I think that's something that we can all relate to. I know I can, as being the person who is away in a foreign country for 2 Christmases. Mm-hmm. I know what it's like to want to be home with your loved ones. So, and plus it's U2, and I just, the older I get, the more I appreciate U2 as a band and their relevancy and how they've been able to, just stay at the forefront of popular music for, the longevity that they've had.
Yes. Number
2 is Band-Aid, Do They Know It's Christmas Time? Or Do They Know It's Christmas? And my last one, Christmas Eve, Sarajevo 1224 by the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Because it rocks in a metalish kind of way. I love it.
It was just on the radio on the way down.
Was
there.
it? Oh, I totally missed it. It's awesome, though. Anything by the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, to be honest with you, is pretty cool. So, yeah. Who wants to go next?
So, Don't Shoot Santa by the Killers.
Like Killers from Australia? Killers?
Yep.
Don't shoot me, Santa Claus, I've been a clean living boy.
Cool.
And it's a good little video, too. It's a little story. Santa ends up being like a little bit of an axe murderer.
Oh.
So,
okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's, as I say, it definitely is a Christmas song, just not very traditional. And then my other one was Won't Be Home for Christmas, Blink-182.
I won't be home for Christmas.
Which, right, they're a very tongue-in-cheek kind of band, but they do touch on some social issues. And I listened to it a couple times, and I think it's sort of that aspect of, you know, a lot of stress in the world and a lot of, you know, sad people, and sometimes not everybody gets home for Christmas.
Yeah.
So, but it has their little tweak to it for sure.
Cool.
Well, to be honest, I didn't pick any in this category because, one, I love everything. But two, I'm not big on like bands. Like you guys can like hear a song, oh, this is this band and that's that band. I don't know. Right? Like it's just...
Yeah, I'm looking at the note you sent. I like them all.
Well, I do, right? If, like I could hear a song, go, oh, I really like this. And you're like, do you know who it is? And I'm like, no. Unless it's like a band I already know of.
Sure.
But yeah. It's Christmas. I like it. It's good. I haven't found nothing resonating with ones I don't like. Do you know what I mean?
Miles Kennedy, if you're listening, Kim is waiting for your Christmas record.
Please, Miles. Please, please, please.
Yeah.
Or just come sing Starlight and I'll be happy. That's my favorite song.
You're right, though. There's a million non-traditional. I think it's kind of one of those things that, like, most artists at some point will attempt either, you know, whether the record label says do this or whether they decide that, you know, when you just kind of throw stuff at the wall to see what sticks. And I mean, I bought the Twisted Christmas CD that Twisted Sister put out. And, you know, that's my genre of music. So no surprise that a lot of the stuff that's on there, you know, in a tongue-in-cheek kind of way, I like it. But, yeah.
It was hard for me. It was just a hard thing to come down to
pick,
3.
Yeah.
As we said, right? A Christmas carol sung by anyone
is still
a Christmas carol.
Yeah.
A Christmas carol sung by a band that you like becomes possibly your favorite version of that Christmas carol.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, exactly.
It does. But I would say, like, a lot of the stuff that you mentioned, Andy, like with, was it Crosby?
Bing that was my traditionals.
I mean, as soon as you said Bing Crosby, it's like, of course, Bing Crosby. Like, our house, I mean, played a lot of records, a lot of vinyl, and I think that's kind of the bulk of our... That and, oh my God, what was that? My parents used to play the Alabama Christmas record. Thistle Hair, the Christmas Bear.
Oh, Thistle Hair, the Christmas Bear.
You know, stuff like that.
Huh.
My mom always used to play that Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers one.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Constantly.
Oh my Lord, I can hear it.
I'll be home with bells on.
Trim the tree and wrap the presents, turn the Christmas music on.
I'll be home
with bells on. Yeah.
Now the children.
My God, they were such a phenomena though, like in that period of the late 1970s, the early 1980s, where the two of them could do no wrong. So no surprise that they were going to get together and do something.
She just sang something with Pentatonics, if I'm saying that right.
Pentatonics?
That's it.
She's also got a brand new Christmas movie where she plays like an angel or something.
Yeah, but what's the band that she just sang with?
The one Wes said that I can't pronounce.
Oh.
Pentatonics.
It's the, what is it when it's not barbershop, it's...
Four-part harmony?
Four-part harmony.
Really?
So, right, no instrument.
Acapella.
There you go, acapella.
Yes, sorry.
And, right, the one guy kind of beats out on his, like, you know, just the bass would be,
cool.
yeah. And they do a very nice job.
That's pretty cool. What's yours, Andy?
In no particular order, Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC.
Look at his dog. Oh my God, a ill reindeer.
Nice.
12 Days of Christmas by Bob and Doug Mckenzie.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a beer.
Oh,
my God.
nice.
Yes.
And Santa's Gonna Kick Your Ass by the Arrogant Worms.
Santa's coming and he's gonna kick your ass because you've always been a rotten little brat.
I didn't even know that the Arrogant Worms were a thing until 2004 when I met a friend of mine through the military who was a huge Arrogant Worms fan. And
I found them by accident.
Yeah, I
they
think
were
a
in
lot
the
of
dollar
people
bin
do.
at
Wow.
one of the music stores. And it was like, oh, Christmas turkey. Give it a shot.
The Arrogant Worms, to me, like if you were to equate them to, would be like the musical version of the Kids in the Hall. You know, if you
I
had
love
to,
Kids in the Hall.
yeah, they're just this like real wacky. I think on some level, maybe they share some stuff with, what was, oh my God, what's his name's college band? The guy that hid out in Minden for Gion's college band, Gian Gomeshi's band.
Not Butthole Surfers.
No, you know who I'm talking about, though.
It was popular.
Yeah, it was so popular we can't remember who they were. But they were a big college band.
Oh, I know.
They have a similar kind of sound to them where it's, oh my God. Yep. Who's got the Google machine going?
Yeah.
Insert song here.
Yeah.
Reluctant to find he's stuck in the 90s.
Moxie Fruvis.
Moxie Fruvis, of course.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So that
it's amazing how bad you can butcher somebody's name and still get an answer.
Yeah. Right on. So
now you mellowed a little bit from your first couple of choices.
Yeah, I put those down in the honorable mention category.
Yeah, you were a little more hardcore, a little more hip hop.
Wasn't there an NWA choice in there originally?
Easy E's.
Easy
Merry
E,
motherfucking Christmas.
Yeah.
Merry motherfucking Christmas.
And it's funny when you listen to, and I tried to listen to a few pieces of everybody's alternative.
Of their stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't think I can play that in front of my mother.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah, I was going to say stuff you wouldn't do it in front of your parents.
Yeah.
But, no, it's but right, it's funny, because right, same thing. He's just singing his mindset of what Christmas is all about, right? Kind of,
storytelling.
Yeah, and, dropping down the collard greens.
Yep. Then the other one was Merry Fucking Christmas by Mr. Garrison from South Park.
Merry fucking Christmas to you.
That one I have played in front of my mother.
South Park has made your list in 2 categories.
It has.
That's impressive.
They're festive.
So any other, Christmas traditions you guys do? Other than watching TV movies?
Like just for Christmas?
Yeah. Right? Other things you do?
Well, when we sit down for dinner, I usually put candles on the table for everyone who's passed. And we take turns to light a candle in honor of that person who's passed. We say their name and think of them. And so it's not a drawn out there, but it's just a little... Yeah. For the family members that aren't with us anymore.
That's going to be hard for me this year.
It will be.
Yeah. It's been hard today already.
I know. But that's one thing we do just at Christmas.
Right, yeah.
Well, I was going to say something maybe a little more fun, but...
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I'm still going to say something more fun. Although not fun this year because COVID has put a wrench into my punch bowl.
Damn you!
As it were. But since Kim and I have been together and we've been trying to broaden our social circle, we've taken to throwing a Christmas party the last few years. And so at our Christmas party, I've been able to share one of my military traditions with my friends who maybe have not experienced this before. So I take extreme pride in being able to make a very large punch bowl of moose milk, which I happily serve to my guests excessively when they come over for our Christmas party. That looks like this year might be the Christmas party of 4.
It'll be a little
because
bit
of our
smaller.
bubble.
Yeah.
But
Just have to make a smaller batch of it.
That's my Christmas tradition right now is moose milk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I enjoy your Christmas tradition, bud. It is. It's very good. It's and I would tell you, there's nothing else like it that's been introduced to me anywhere for sure.
It's
So
liquid fire with an ice cream chaser.
Yeah, really. If it was any other time of the year and you told somebody what you were drinking, they would probably tell you that's not safe. Do you know what I mean? Like the whole mixing of dairy and liquor like that. But 3 years running now, and
it's very good.
That first year, me, Rob, and Mark, I think, pretty much drank the majority of the bowl.
It's good.
Well, in both years, it's gone.
There hasn't been anything left. Although the first year, funny story for those of you who've never had moose milk before. There's calls for vanilla ice cream, and of course we have a premium. We have a very renowned dairy here in Bobcaygeon, the Kawartha Dairy. If you've never had it before, And so
you're eating your ice cream wrong.
That's right.
Yes,
that's right.
There's hands down. Anywhere else, it's a lie. Just come here and get it, or go to your dairy the closest that you can where they sell it, because you will not regret the product. So we went out and we bought the ice cream, Korth Dairy ice cream. It's a liter of vanilla ice cream, and into the bowl it goes. And over time, it warms up, as the mixture gets mixed and it gets drank. And several glasses into it, our friend Mark dips his cup in, because by now we're not using the ladle anymore. We're literally just into it with our cups, right?
Pre-COVID.
The dairy uses real vanilla. So the bean. So when it's ground up, it's like there's small little black spots.
He freaked out.
He goes to take the sip, sees the bottom of the cup. Oh my God! What is in this? That's the vanilla, Mark. Oh, okay. And away he goes. But yeah, good
That's
stuff.
Funny.
What about you, Scott? You got a?
We've been sort of trying to, not as a huge Christmas guy.
Yeah.
Slowly been trying to insert some tradition,
make some new ones.
Yeah, right. We try to do one gift Christmas Eve, try to get everybody to the house, just little things like that. But I mean, traditionally it's been we go to Michelle's parents on Christmas Day and then try to work in everyone else's schedule to fit the rest of the family in. And this will be a year that we're not fitting everybody in. So, yeah, which, you know what? It's okay. And we'll surely Skype or talk or text and things like that. And then we'll catch up with everybody. We had a big heartfelt conversation with my mother that the envelopes will be sent in a giant manila envelope this year, and I'll dole them out.
Yeah,
I think that's what any great grandma gets to when she what do the kids want? And it's like cash and gift cards, Mom. Cash and gift cards.
Yeah.
Save yourself the aggravation.
Right. I still remember, that was a big switch for us. I don't even know when my grandpa started it. And all of a sudden, we never got cash really as a gift, right? And then all of a sudden on the Christmas tree one year, there's these envelopes for all the grandkids with our names on them. We're like, well, what are those? And we opened them up, and they, everyone got a check. And we're like, is Grandpa okay?
Oh, really?
And I'm like, because all of a sudden it looked to us, it felt like he was liquidating.
Wow.
And I just think he got to that point in his life where he's like, well, you can't take it with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got everything I want.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just I'll start doling it out.
Spread it around.
Yeah. And I mean, right, for us, I mean, it was, you did a lot of cool things with that money. Some of us invested it. Some of us spent it. And, but yeah, so I mean, that's always, it's always cool, right? So.
That is cool.
I got to tell you, getting out of the military, I don't have to travel anymore. And God damn it, do I ever like that. Not a lot of traveling around my holiday period. It hasn't been for a few years now, and I don't miss it at all.
Well, I think if we had younger kids, it would be still an issue, right?
Travel?
So,
But
because when you have little ones, everyone wants to see them, right?
You know what, though? And I'm slowly becoming a firmer believer in, man, people should travel to see that child.
That's right.
Versus, and I mean, I don't know. I remember the last year we drove to Bowmanville to see my parents for a whopping 5 hours, and we fought against traffic and a snowstorm and ice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
And and they're not driving as much anymore, but it's like, man, we can go down and see them anytime. And I mean, right, it's nice to go see Christmas, but yeah, why are we endangering, the kids and it's like all this travel time. And I think the first year we had Brandon, so I mean 22 years ago, and he's a December baby, and we took him everywhere, and he ended up getting sick.
Right.
And I think after that, we really kind of put the reins on it and you know what? We don't need to go everywhere with this child. If you want to see him,
you come to us.
Yeah.
We had, well, when my kids were younger, I was married to my first husband. It was hard, like you said, right? Like all over. So we made the decision to alternate the Christmases. One year would be his family, the next year would be mine. Like we'd see everyone, but just at Christmas, it was one family to another. And this one particular Christmas, my grandmother wasn't doing very well. So I got a lot of pressure from my side.
Because it wasn't their year.
It wasn't their year. And this might have been my grandmother's last Christmas. So there was a lot of pressure. So my first husband and I, we were fighting because it's, changing plans, and his family was upset because we chose to split it up, right? To appease everyone. His family lived in Owen Sound. My family lived in Lakefield. And like you said, traveling in a snowstorm. By the time we got to my grandparents, they had already started dinner. We had to eat our Christmas dinner out of Tupperware dishes. I went, that's it. No more. And we stopped it after that. But it's a lot of pressure. You're right.
Is.
And they should go. Yeah, I guess my earlier comment doesn't make any sense now that I think
but
about
I say it as a guilty pleasure because I guess if our granddaughter didn't come down, which I hope, right? She better damn well come down.
You'd have to go get her.
Well, that's it, right?
But you would.
I would, but again, if it was bad weather, is it worth? Just leave her at home.
Now, see, now I'm in the same camp. I'm not getting out on the. I'm at a point in my life now where I won't get on the road for my own purposes, let alone somebody else's.
But yeah, and if the kids said they didn't want to go anywhere on Christmas, that okay, I know, but right, I'd still be like, I'd be pouty.
I would be too, but I get it.
Because I don't particularly want to share her either. I just want her all me, like all day. Like that's right. We don't say no.
We're of the.
We don't. You guys and us. Yeah. We have her.
It's like unless there was something planned, and if I could, that I couldn't take her, it's all in. Yeah. Well,
I take her, or we take her whenever.
As grandparents,
we can.
We are 35 minutes, 40-minute drive, whereas the other grandparents are
2 hours.
2 hours, 2 hour plus.
Yeah.
So we're fortunate enough that we're close enough.
Right. Now we are slipping away here, Andy.
Yeah,
yeah, I know. Thanking
Andy,
God that you're.
What's your tradition?
Thanking your gods that your children are young.
I was going to say, you have the youngest kids of everybody, so.
I guess the tradition is a drop kick to the head. Get up.
Yours don't want to get up.
No,
he's getting drop kicked.
Oh, okay, you're getting drop kicked. Yeah. Good.
Leave me sleep. It's 5:00.
Yeah.
Come on. When I'm kicking you, that means hurry up.
I remember that.
Do you have the you don't get out of bed before this time rule?
We try.
And how effective is that?
About 50-50.
So that's half the kids do it and half the kids don't?
Yeah.
I presume the 50-50 is 50 for your daughter, yes, 50 for your son, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's always wound up and ready to go.
Yeah.
For me as a kid, it was always, we couldn't even see the tree until my parents were up and their coffee was made. Right? So we had to wait on the stairs. And they were so slow. They took their time, probably because they were tired.
On purpose.
Of course. And I have to say, I continued that tradition with my kids. Now, I didn't take as long as my parents, but I would wait till we were ready and I'd get that photo of them coming around the corner and the tree and Santa came and all that fun stuff.
So was the tree put up the night before?
No, but of course Santa comes, right?
So there was a little bit more around it.
Yeah. And their stockings are full. And
right.
Santa was pretty cool because he would do all his gifts were in different paper, so they knew which ones came from Santa.
Yes,
right, and so they knew it was a big thing.
And we always allowed the kids. It got to a point, and they could get up early and do their stockings by themselves.
Oh, okay, that's pretty impressive.
And then we would titter tatter down, and then they had to leave the big, independently wrapped ones.
Anything that's under the tree, don't touch it.
Right.
That was our house too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do the same thing. I could get up
and
I could do my stocking if I was quiet. So that usually meant taking the stocking back to my bedroom and dumping it out on my bed. And I got to tell you, for the first few years of my life that I can remember, I made out like a freaking bandit because I had a stocking that was like ye old bum flap pajamas. So it had 2 feet on it with a bum flap.
Oh, wow.
This thing was
you
massive.
Had 2 stockings.
Essentially, the feet were a little bit smaller, but
no
because
one put
of
a
the
stop
double,
to that.
Eventually it did. But it was like, you know what it's like when you're a parent and you want to spoil it. And I did. I got spoiled.
Oh, you were spoiled.
Yeah. The same thing. Oh, and then it got kind of shitty there for a while because when I started to realize that this whole, like, as much as I loved it when my uncle would come over because of the movie thing, it became this real detractor because, you know, we were itching to get going with Christmas, and he, as much as I appreciate it now because I like to sleep, but he was the late riser. So if he was getting out of bed, some years he's getting out of bed at 10 o'clock. And, you know, as kids, we're like just chomping at the bit, right?
That might as well have been midnight the next day.
That's right. So, I mean, Christmas at our house, some years we're still opening presents at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and still in our pajamas because if he get up at 10, he's not doing nothing till he's had his two fucking Corningware bowls of cereal because I don't think he eats at home. So, you know, at our house, it was like gold, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny too that you had an uncle. I had an aunt.
Was she as eccentric as my uncle?
Probably worse.
We should compare notes on that.
We
sometime.
should. So my great aunt.
Did she travel with her cats?
Dog.
Oh, okay.
Dog.
So that's a point for both of us.
Yeah.
Whoop, yep.
Did she bring lime jello?
Does your cat by any chance eat jello?
She
wrapped up her damn
and again,
cat.
and I feel like talking about alternating. I feel like on off years she came to our house, and then the other years we went to hers. And terrible to say, I don't think she ever married. So she was an eccentric.
That's two.
Old lady.
Yeah.
And just right, and just didn't get me.
Lived alone.
Yeah, well, she lived with her sister. So Aunt Babe and Aunt Marge. And I think Aunt Babe was related. I think. And it's this weird don't ask, don't tell.
Oh.
Maybe. I don't know. Right?
It could have been, back then they wouldn't have come out, right?
No, but I'm sure she was the actual sister, but they didn't look alike. But anywho. And I remember one year she cooked the turkey in a brown paper bag, and the bag caught fire. And you know me, I'm a sensitive little soul, so the smoke agitates me. I'm huffy and puffy. My eyes are puffy. I'm crying. And she's like, what's wrong with Scotty? I'm okay. And then
my uncle did not do any burning, didn't do any cooking, let alone burn anything. So you got me on that one.
Yeah. And then I remember one year she got me the big 32 marker set.
Cool.
And I don't know where she got them.
Like Crayola.
No.
Oh, off-brand.
Off-brand.
Yeah.
Maybe off-shelf. But every marker was dry. And I'm like trying to lick them. And I'm like, and she's like, do you like them? And I'm like, I love them. Are you going to draw me a picture? And I'm like, I can't.
It's invisible.
And she's like, well, aren't you ungrateful? And I'm like, oh. And then, we got to the right age, and my parents were like, you want to go to Aunt Marge's for Christmas? And we were like, nope.
Oh, wow.
And that's when it ended.
Oh.
Interesting.
So,
well, nice to know that we've all got our own traditions, and, you know, we have these fond memories to look back on, and I'm just, you know, I'm happy to be where I am now in my life, and in spite of everything that's going on in the world right now with, you know, COVID and the virus, hey, there is a bright spot to that, and that the first vaccine was administered today in Canada, so things are looking up, and
maybe by next year,
you can
have the moose milk party.
Hopefully, I'm having moose milk this year, regardless, but just not going to make it by the punch bowl
by the gallon.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it for me, guys. How about you? Any final words you want to put up?
I'm good. I mean, you know what? I missed, didn't talk about Hanukkah and Adam Sandler.
That's right.
And
that's
the Hanukkah
a whole
sign.
Other thing.
Yeah. But that's not Christmas. That's Hanukkah.
I know. But again.
That's holiday tradition.
Holiday tradition,
and I mean, right? Comedic gold.
It really is.
Yeah.
Happy Hanukkah, Stone.
Merry Christmas, Whitey.
But that's all. That was just my last minute thought.
Awesome. And that's a good one to close on. That's it for me, guys. Thanks for joining us for our SAWcast family Christmas. hopefully you'll tune into our sister show, Hanging at the Barbershop, when we do this again for our SAWcast Family New Year's, where we recount the year 2020 in only the way that we do. And we hope that wherever you are for Christmas this year, that you're with good friends and family, and that everybody is happy and safe. And Merry Christmas from me.
Merry Christmas from me.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
And a Happy New Year.
All right, guys. That's it for me. That's it for Fandom Power. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hey, guys. Thanks for listening to Fandom Power. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we'll be talking about another one of your favorite fandoms. Fandom Power is a SAWcast production.